Hi, everybody. Welcome to Encyclopedia Britannica, a podcast about Simpsons references. I'm Harrison George.
And I'm Eli Mandel.
Hi, Eli. Happy week. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great.
We're recording this the day before Mother's Day.
Yes.
And so tomorrow we're going up to Devin's mom's house for brunch. It's interesting now being so much closer to my partner's family than my own family. So it's like I haven't been home for Mother's Day and like maybe like 4 years ago I surprised well, it wasn't really a surprise, but I went to my mom for Mother's Day, but it's usually just way too hard to get out there and like expensive, and my mom's not worth that. But yeah, so looking forward to that. Got my sister's birthday and Mother's Day are always around the same time. So, and my sister's turning 40.
Oh, wow.
So big birthday. I got her a book.
That's the kind of stuff you like when you get into your middle ages. Is things like books and socks are actually really enjoyable.
Yes, absolutely. It's
What
a nice,
book?
pretty book. It's called. I actually got it for myself, and then I got it, and it was so beautiful that I was like, "Oh my god, I should give this to my
Aw.
sister." But so I guess that's almost like the opposite of the thought that counts, because I didn't think of her at all when I. But I liked it so much. I was like,
Yes.
felt a little bit like, oh, I wish I could keep this. But it's an
Yeah, that's
old
a good
book called like the back roads of California or something, where we're from, and it's a guy in like the '60s who traveled all around California with a sketch pad and just sketched all the little back roads that he went on, and they even go like up around the very rural nowhere place that we're from. So it's very beautiful. I loved it.
That sounds
And it came in a
amazing.
very big, like, beautiful binding inside of I don't know, what do you call it, like a book sheath, like a little cover
Yeah.
that you put your book in. So I'm pretty pleased with myself over giving up such a beautiful book so that my sister could have it.
That's incredible. Those makes me think of, like, in the 1930s, they wrote guidebooks for most of the states, the WPA guidebooks
Yeah.
and stuff. I just love that time and attention that goes into that kind of stuff. Like,
Totally.
that's amazing. That's going to be a great gift. She'll love
Totally.
it.
Oh, and then we're also going out there in a couple weeks when I have a week off work, and we'll take them all out to dinner or something like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, my sister, she lives in New Zealand, and that's close to Australia, which is close to where our guest is from today, Eli. How about that?
What the F?
Smooth.
Yeah.
Smooth. Who is our guest this week?
Our guest is Ben Russell. Ben's an Australian-based comedian. He's been on Netflix's Auntie Donna's Big Ol' House of Fun, Most Upsetting Guessing Game, and Thank God You're Here, parentheses, Australian TV, It Doesn't Matter, LOL. This did get brought up while we were talking to him, though, because they did make an American version of Thank God You're Here. Anyway, he has a regular web series called Gert, and will have just finished his 3-week run at the Melbourne International Comedy Festival this year.
So we talk about a lot of that stuff.
I would have talked to
about
him
that
for
the entire time.
3 hours about the difference between the American comedy scene, because we talk about this there, but we all were in Chicago at the same time, and it was always like, oh, that guy's from Australia? What's he doing here? But he was always a great improviser, super funny and super nice guy, and none of us have seen each other in 13 years or so. Crazy.
Catch up over our shared love of The Simpsons. He picked an amazing episode. He picked season 6, episode 1, Bart of Darkness, from September of 1994, written by Dan McGrath and directed by Jim Reardon. This is such a funny episode, and Ben is the perfect guest for this because he has so much enthusiasm for it. I had no idea he was such a big Simpsons fan. We also find out he's also a big Star Trek fan, right?
Yes, definitely. It gets
That was
brought
a
up.
surprise.
You'll be able to hear the moment of joy, I realize, when I say something about Star Trek, and Ben's like, yes, 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 and also this. It really isn't. There's no better moment of joy than when you find out someone else is a huge Simpsons fan, or, in my case, a big Star Trek fan, because it also kind of tells you a little bit about them. It makes you trust them a little bit more.
Isn't that funny how that works?
Totally.
It's just a property. It's just a TV show. It's just a thing. But 100%, when somebody reads the same people that I do, or to a lesser extent, music, there's a bond there that is like kind of hard to describe.
Yeah, it's like, okay, so you at least have a little bit of good taste because you like the thing
Yeah.
that I like.
So you're cool. You're cool then, is what we're saying. We just have so much fun, and Ben is so fucking funny. It was a joy to get to catch up with him and talk about such a good episode of The Simpsons. It's a great conversation, so please enjoy. Ben, thank you so much for being here. This is so exciting.
It is so good to be here. It's so nice to see you both.
We were just talking. It's been 13 years at least.
Ridiculous.
That all of us were in Chicago together. Let's start here with your time in Chicago. Was there culture shock coming to the States and staying for a while, then coming back to Australia?
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. Because I was so young. We were so young.
We were so young once.
It's
so young and
legitimately
dumb. And I just literally kind of booked a flight to Chicago and hit up a second cousin that was studying at Southwestern or something at the time. And I was like, hey, we don't know each other, but I'm going over to Chicago. Can I crash on your couch? And she said yes, and she's awesome. And I just went. So, and then that was supposed to be for like,
can I just what inspired that? Were you just like, I've heard of the Second City, or I've heard of IO, or whatever? Did you know it was a comedy thing, or were you just like, let me get to America? Yeah,
I knew it was a comedy thing, and I had done a bunch of like improv and loved it, and sketch, and I loved character stuff, and I lived. I mean, I was living in Perth, and Perth is like imagine Grand Rapids.
Yes.
But really far away from everything.
Yeah.
So like
I can picture it.
It's one of the most isolated cities in the world. I mean, even now, even living in Melbourne, it's almost 4 hours flight away, and it's like $2,000 to get there.
Oh my
God.
It's
ridiculous. Yeah. So it's really isolated. It's beautiful, but I was really getting frustrated with living there and the lack of stuff to do, and so I was like, "Fuck this," and I went, and I just very impulsive. It was a very early 20s thing to do, and I couldn't. And looking back now, I'm like, phew.
Totally.
Even Chicago was an intense experience. How everything is happening there all at once, all the time, in terms of comedy and improv, and so I just kind of went there and my plan was 2 years, and I stayed there for almost 5.
Wow,
that's amazing,
crazy.
Yeah. I still love it. I want to go back, even though I've heard it changed a lot.
Yeah,
that's what
it
I've
seems
heard
to
too.
be I've been back once or twice since I've been in New York now for 7, maybe 8 years, and but it's funny because I grew up in rural California, and your story is very similar to mine, where it was just like I kind of knew I wanted to go to Chicago, and then it was just like, graduated college, waited a couple of months, I was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna go like next Monday, and then without really knowing anybody there. And then it was probably around the exact same time, honestly. Yeah. But you're totally right. I remember it was like, oh my God, you can do improv every night of the week. You can see a show. You can do a show. But this is what I was saying. But it does feel a little bit different, and I can't tell if it's the scene has changed or if we're older now, and it's
Yeah. I mean, it's inevitable, obviously, and things change, and IO was in Wrigleyville when I was there. And now Wrigleyville is totally different now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think both. I think it's changed and we've changed.
And that's okay.
Yeah, and that's good, I think. I think we should have changed.
Based on what we were doing, we needed to change.
We needed
Which
to
we cannot,
change.
For legal purposes, say on the air.
I mean, it was so funny because I was in LA briefly in 2024, and I met up with a friend of mine. Maybe you guys know him, Andrew Knox.
Of course, one of my dear friends.
Big
And
Knox.
I was there, and I was like, man, I kind of feel embarrassed because I was drunk all the time. And he's like, yeah, don't worry about it, dude. Everybody was.
Yeah, all were drunk. Yeah.
We
Was
were
there?
just.
It was one giant party. Somebody
Yeah.
called it, Never Never Land for 20-year-olds, and it's like, it absolutely was just a giant playground. It was that part of Pinocchio when they all are sitting around smoking cigars and getting drunk and slowly turning into donkeys.
And
It
we
was like
did
that.
turn into donkeys.
Yes. At Mullins at 3 a.m., we all turned into donkeys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
We can start talking about The Simpsons because you've picked on this episode one of my favorite episodes of The Simpsons, for real. That's just an absolute joy. Before we dive into the episode, what's your relationship like with The Simpsons?
I love The Simpsons. I was raised on The Simpsons. My parents were not good parents. They were not around. And I love.
Did they watch?
They did watch.
They watched.
It was
okay.
it was every night. I think it was around. I want to say like 6:37, 7 o'clock. So it was after dinner. It was Simpsons time. Back when people watched television.
Appointment viewing.
Yeah, I remember the first episode of The Simpsons I saw
Wow.
was the episode when Bart gets taken. He lives with the French people.
Yep.
Yeah.
Creeps of Wrath. Yeah.
Yeah. That was the first one. And it was,
Damn.
I have a photograph, like, I can remember more Simpsons quotes from early episodes than I can my own childhood memories. People say around, like, oh, The Simpsons was only good until, like, season 5. And I don't think that that's correct.
Oh, way
I
off.
think that's a dumb
wild
thing
take.
to say. Because there are some excellent episodes that keep on going. Like some iconic episodes, and I think this is one of them, and it's in season 7,
Yeah.
isn't it? Season 7 or 6?
This
Yeah.
is 6.
Season
This
6.
is the
Yeah, 6.
season 6, episode 1. We're talking Bart of Darkness from September of 1994, written by Dan McGrath and directed by Jim Reardon. Now, for people who don't remember in a sentence, could you sum up what happens in this episode?
It's a hot summer. Can we get a pool, Dad? They get a pool. And Bart then breaks his leg in a great scene, which is like, I think Bart's really hurt. I said ha ha. Your epidermis is your skin. And then Rear Window plays out. And then Martin gets another pool and becomes the queen of summer.
King.
It
And
was
that's basically
great.
it.
This episode, there were
Oh,
so
yeah.
many quotes that would just be in my head, including like, I said ha ha. Was just something that my sister and I would say. But I haven't seen,
Yeah.
I was telling Harrison earlier, I haven't seen this episode in a long time, but it was making me laugh. I was cracking
It's
up.
such a good one.
It is a real good one. It's
Why
got
did
so
you pick
many
this
good
one?
ones. I think because I didn't want to pick the standard highlights.
Totally.
The ones that are absolutely jewels in the crown of Simpsons. And this one is, in my head, a jewel, an understated
Me too.
jewel. I think that it's just a wonderfully written one. And what really stands out to me is I think that the end is one of the best credits
Yeah.
of Martin standing alone in the pool that's busted out, singing Summer Wind.
Naked.
Just think that it's beautiful.
Naked
completely pantsed.
as the sun goes down, as the sun sets. It's a
gorgeous
beautiful
ending.
ending.
It really
Yeah.
And Eli, we've talked about how the ending sometimes colors our memory of the whole episode.
Yeah.
And it's definitely an episode like that for this, where I think of it as bittersweet or very summery.
Yeah.
And there aren't a lot of summer episodes, obviously, just based on how programming works. There aren't a whole lot of summer episodes, and this is so summery, which is
Yeah.
Which in
a
Australia
good
is
feeling.
winter.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. So this episode is all about pools. I want to hear your guys' history swimming as a kid. And then Ben, I can't. You and I were talking about time zones. I can't get over the seasons thing. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So it's hot outside in Christmas.
Yeah. So
You
due
have a
to
hot Christmas.
due to the axis of the Earth, we become closer to the sun
The
in
what of
inverted
the,
time.
huh?
Yeah. The
That's shocking,
Earth is
too.
the Earth is on a tilt.
Whoa.
And
It's tilted, folks.
it's tilted. It is. And so the summer is, January, February, December
That's so
as well.
weird.
December,
December.
January, February.
Those are the
December's
warm
gonna get
years.
caught up in that.
Yep, December's caught up. And
And
so
then
right
how
now,
cold does it get?
Melbourne, it gets cold. It's a chilly one. It never
Wow.
snows, but we do have snowfields. They're not very good.
They exist.
I would rather go to New Zealand for skiing, but and it never snows in any, I would say, flat
Interesting.
city area. Maybe Tasmania, maybe Hobart might get someone on the peaks. It gets really cold in Hobart, and it gets really cold in Canberra, our nation's capital.
Right.
Beautiful.
But and Melbourne just is shitty weather. Pretty much, it's the real Chicago of Australia in the fact that it's pretty shitty, pretty much every day of the year, except for a very brief window where it's beautiful and
It's
really hot.
absolutely perfect.
It's the perfect city for a few days. So
Yeah.
I'm so dumb. Did you get summer breaks? Like, did you get breaks from school? And is that during the?
Yeah.
You get
So
summer
our
vacation.
school year goes more linearly. We don't break in the middle. We kind of go. So your whole year, we call them like year 12 instead of, we don't have like senior or junior or
We
sophomore.
have our silly little titles.
Yeah, it's
Sophomore.
just year 7 to 12. That's high school, and it goes from the beginning of the year to the end, and we have term breaks in between, semester breaks, and that's kind of it. It's more from the beginning to end, and the same with our seasons. So I know that in America the seasons start, halfway in some arbitrary date.
Yes.
But ours is always like, oh, okay, it's June, it's winter.
That's perfect. I love that.
Okay. So that was going to be my other question. So you guys say winter when it's the temperature of the season that it is. So winter is always cold, but it's
we don't
not
call the cold time summer.
Yeah. You're not like, I'm sweating my balls off this winter.
Yeah, no,
I'm dying. Okay.
no, that would be confusing for
for
everyone.
the rest of the world. Yeah.
Yeah.
So was it weird? And so I guess I'm just like getting at like, is it weird having Christmas time, knowing how it looks in America and like in pop culture, it looks like a Coca-Cola ad or whatever, or It's a Wonderful Life. But then you guys are out barbecuing at the beach, right?
Yeah, and you'll have more, especially now, sort of, as I think growing up, my parents maybe tried to give us the American turkey and whatnot. And we do have ham, but it's a cold ham, and it'll be like seafood and different things that aren't so steaming hot all the time, so you're not drenched with sweat in the kitchen. So yeah, it is
A hot Christmas.
I would have to say that a cold Christmas is so much better. It is, I think, objectively better when there is snow for Christmas. But hot New Year's Eve is objectively better.
Damn.
A
than
hot
cold
New Year
one.
would be great.
Yeah. Hot New
It'd be
Year
close to like our
is-
4th of July.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be a
There's-
celebration.
a hot New Year is a good time. It's a
Hot New
fun
Year.
time.
Now there's a movie.
Yeah.
There's a teenage
Hot
sex
New
rom
Year.
coming. Hot New Year.
It's a hot New Year.
This year, it's hot. So what about swimming?
Year's.
I picture everybody in
This is as far as we got.
Come see the movie anyway. It's all paid for.
We spent so much
They don't
money on
usually
this movie.
beg.
It'll be out
They don't
in
usually
streaming in 3 days.
They don't usually
Swimming,
beg
yeah.
in movie trailers.
No, this is the first job I've had in a while.
Remember me?
I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. Happy to be here.
Please put food in my kid's mouth. See this movie. Hot
Typically,
New
it's just a popular song made slow.
Year. Where they don't even do the VO anymore. What about swimming? I picture everybody in Australia swimming all the time.
Yeah, that kind of is a stereotype that is relatively true. Even in Melbourne, where we have comparatively shittier beaches
Okay.
than the rest of the country, Melbourne has the worst beaches in the
Interesting.
country. Don't come at
Too
me
cold?
in the comments.
Bad sand?
Yeah, too cold. It's too cold. It's just
It's like
not
a
as
giant bay, right? Or a
yeah. It's a big,
yeah.
it's a big bay. But I mean, you've got good ones down in sort of the peninsula, the Mornington Peninsula.
Is that how people
but,
talk there
Yes,
in the morning?
Think
Is
he's
that
out?
rich part of
the
town?
morning. Yeah, it is. It's fancy, like Brighton.
Okay.
Brighton. All right.
Brighton,
Broad.
and they've got the boxes there, and it is beautiful. But it's no Perth beaches. I think growing up in Perth, the beaches there did spoil me forever.
Sure.
White
So were there a lot of swimming pools?
white
or
sand.
unnecessary?
Yeah, we did have a swimming pool growing up.
Oh, that's huge.
Yeah, and we bought that. Dad bought the house like that. It had this big swimming pool, and so we did have a lot of people over to enjoy. we were the queens of summer.
That's everyone.
I always wondered what it'd be like to be a pool family. Yeah,
Yeah.
saying hi to the Cumberdales and the wrong part.
Cumberdale.
I mean, talk about social currency at school. Talk about, I mean, like in Kansas, that was a big deal. If you had a pool, it was a huge
Yeah.
deal. It was great for your popularity, especially during the summers and birthdays.
Yeah, it was good. I was always bitter because I'm a June baby, and in America that's a summer birthday, but in Australia that's a fucking winter birthday, and I hated it. But my brother was he was a March. He's a March baby, so that's just sort of that's okay. You can get in the pool then
Yeah.
in Perth. Yeah, it was good. And it did have some social currency. I don't think I probably exploited it as well as I did, as I could have. But I did. We were kind of a pool family because right near us was this really shitty, old, rundown, like water park that had water slides and mini golf. And me and my
Nice.
brother both worked there.
Hell yeah.
For our high
Whoa.
school jobs.
You guys were pool obsessed.
Yeah, so if you got in with the Russells, then you could get into the Great Escape Hillary's for free. And you could also
Fuck
come.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Life aquatic
so
over here.
very aquatic.
Very
was,
aquatic life.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, working
Eli,
at the
what about
pool.
you?
I'm from like a rural area, so it was honestly hippie. So we swam in a lot of creeks growing up. The Feingold Creek. There was a lot of alpine lakes in the area because I'm from the mountains. So there's Shaver Lake and Huntington Lake and Millerton Lake farther down. So it was a lot of creek and lake based swimming. But also, we're 3 hours from the ocean. So we'd go to Morro Bay or farther down to LA, and a lot of beach swimming there. I almost drowned when I was a kid. One time. That's scary. Don't do that.
No, I've almost drowned as a kid as well.
Yeah.
In Rottnest, which is
Oh,
like
wow.
an island off the coast of Perth with just beautiful beaches. And
Yeah.
I got pulled under and with an
Same.
undertow.
Same. Exact
was-
same thing.
Terrifying.
I thought it was going
Oh
to
my
die. A
God.
surfer saved me. This is I think at Morro Bay in California. But yeah, a surfer, my sister and I, we both got swept out by an undertow, and a surfer
Yeah.
came up and like scooped us up and put me on his surfboard and pushed me to shore.
I managed
Did
to
your life
just
flash
get a
between your eyes
Yeah,
for either of you?
I remember thinking like, oh great, I'm gonna die. Oh, this sucks. Like,
Yeah.
I'm 8 and I'm gonna fucking die. What's happening right now?
I remember I just grabbed onto a reef.
Mm.
Like I managed to get a good handhold on a
Good.
reef
Oof.
That's smart.
and pull myself up, and it was terrifying.
It's so
but-
scary. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's why we do
gorgeous.
comedy now, huh?
No, my parents are divorced. That's why.
Hey, mine too.
Hey. Go ahead.
Some people have
Pools.
pools, but not a ton of people. I remember going to someone's birthday party who had a pool, and I remember thinking like, "Whoa, this is crazy!" Like they have a pool at their house. They're not just going to the like leech-filled lakes and creeks.
We can talk about the episode. The episode starts with a great scene, very memorable. We get 3 quick shots. It is very hot in Springfield, and we get 3 quick examples of how hot it is in Springfield. We see Hans Moleman starting his sleeves on fire with his magnifying glasses, and then we see Just Stamp the Ticket Man punch a hippie in the face, and then we see Skinner up to his knees in the original cast of MASH at the Wax Figure Museum. Now, Eli, I've mentioned this before, how much I love whenever they show us what's going on in Springfield. When they make a statement and then they say, this is how it's happening throughout town. Or like, it's just 3 quick jokes that are not only funny by themselves, but really expand the world of what's going on in Springfield. I'm always really happy with these types of jokes.
Me too, totally. It almost feels like, I don't know, like the first beat of a herald, if you will.
Yep.
Where they're just expanding. Yeah, they're just thinking of what else could be funny right here.
It has nothing to do with the plot at all.
Yeah.
But it's just 3 quick, it's just a very funny idea to start the episode with 3 very rapid fire jokes and then move on.
Yeah, it just sets the scene so quickly and so perfectly. There's no fat on it. It's just joke, but also this is setting up the entire episode.
Totally.
And I noticed on a rewatch of The Rear Window, which we will talk about towards the 3rd act, it's also extremely hot. I think one of the first things we see in The Rear Window is like close up on a thermometer or something, and a sweaty James Stewart.
Yeah.
So
There's a sinister looking kid over there.
Oh God, he's
That's
coming to
good too.
kill me.
Grace. I've been trying to work on I've been watching Jimmy Stewart movies just cause, and I'm trying to work on my Jimmy Stewart. It's a hard voice to do. Ben, you've got it pretty much nailed.
Hey, your money's not here. It's at Bill's house. I'm gonna shake my boots off of this crummy little town, and I'm gonna see the world.
Wow. Pow.
There's a little bit of Biden in there, isn't there? I see the world.
I want to see the world, Jack.
No fooling. So we see the Simpsons. We assume they don't have air conditioning. The Simpsons are very hot. They are trying to survive the high temperatures. One thing I'll say about this episode quickly is that the episode itself was delayed from season 5 after California earthquakes. So this gave them more time to add little details like Bart sticking to the chair and Bart being in his underwear instead of a swimsuit. I think that I think it reads in this episode that there's little details in this episode that are really funny that aren't even like really jokes. Like Bart being in his underwear. Homer also is in his underwear. Very funny little details instead of a swimsuit is very funny to me.
Totally.
This was
sticking. I
genius,
did
Homer.
notice. Yeah, I did notice the sticking.
I
animation
noticed when the
was
thing's in
quite
there.
nice. Yeah. I noticed that. I did it when I noticed the refrigerator was cooled.
They are tempted by an ice cream truck that's all it turns out to be all out of ice cream.
All
which
that
is
ice
really
cream.
funny.
This is one of
All
my
that
favorite
ice cream.
gags. Is
The
the
next one.
spicy ginger beer?
They get a truck that's selling chili, red hot Texas style chili, and we got ginger ale, boiling hot Texas style ginger ale, Texas. How do y'all feel about hot food on a hot day? Yay or nay?
Oh, I mean, it wouldn't be my first choice, but I do over here. A very summery treat would be a pie, we have not a sweet pie. I'm talking a meat pie or a sausage roll, which a sausage roll, I think someone needs to start a business of sausage rolls over in the US because you guys would love them.
They would do numbers.
Yeah.
You could sell a
There's
sausage roll.
a few places in New York here that have them in the morning. I like it. I'll say this: a lot of sausage in there. A lot of sausage.
There's a lot of sausage. Yeah, but they can have anything in it. It's not just like it's just a sort of a mince with veggies and onion and flavoring and goodness.
Now that sounds delicious.
It doesn't have to be just like a frank in it. That's a pig in a blanket. It's not a pig in a blanket.
You've entered pig in a blanket territory.
Yeah, you don't want to go into pig in a blanket.
Hot food, hot day.
I don't mind it.
Indian food.
I'll do it. Yeah, I like that.
Same.
I'll do that. I'm not gonna. I'm not one to do like cold food. I guess I don't much eat cold dishes. You know, like main dishes, like gazpacho or
Yeah,
good point.
That's a
the
good
cold,
point.
the tsukamen or whatever, the cold Japanese noodles or whatever. I always go for the hot stuff, no matter what.
Now that I think about it, I like hot in most of my meals, I would say.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking of my way through it now, and it's like, yeah, I think almost everything is served hot.
Yeah. If you were to give me the choice, you want cold for the rest of your life or hot? I'm going to choose hot.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to smile and say thank you.
I'm going to say, this is great. This was not even a choice. This was not a hard choice at all. You failed giving me a hard choice because that was easy. And now I get guaranteed hot meals for the rest of my life.
And I was always,
dumb
I don't know,
genie.
You dumb trickster. So we get to the pool mobile, and this convinces Bart and Lisa that they need to get a pool for the Simpsons. We get a great line where they say something like, we're going to subject you, Homer, to months and months of, can we have a pool, Dad? If we don't get a pool. Homer immediately acquiesces and gives in and says one of my all-time favorite Simpson lines. Let us celebrate our new arrangement with the adding of chocolate to milk. That is so funny.
It's so
I
good.
love that he's celebrating as well. He's not like, all right, he's not begrudging the kids. He's like, I am also excited that we're getting a pool and let's celebrate with chocolate milk. I don't know why. That's so funny. A joke that I definitely never clocked. Yes, very formal. He even puts his hands together like this. A joke I definitely never got till this viewing. Pool sharks, where the buyer is our chum, is where they go to buy their pool. That play on words, chum. Chum is chopped ground bait used to attract larger fish. It is called burley in Australia, Ben.
Yep.
Or in the UK, rubby dubby.
Oh, yeah.
I like
that's
rubby
made
dubby.
up.
Oh, hey,
Rubby
that's
dubby.
yucky.
I like rubby.
I don't believe that's true.
Oi, Governor, throw in some more rubby dubby, isn't it?
Let's get some rubby dubby in the water. They're not real. English people aren't real. They are just something that you tell your children to make them brush their teeth. That's the only reason English people exist.
Oi, Governor, can I interest you in a little rubby dubby?
Little rubby dubby,
Very funny. We get a great line from him, from the pool guy. Marge asks a question, and the pool guy says, look, question lady, this job is not what I really do, okay? I play keyboards. That made me laugh out loud.
I play keyboard.
And it made me think, like, do you guys remember, I don't know if you're still doing improv. I haven't done improv in a long time, but you ever been in just a complete shit of a scene that's going nowhere, and then somebody comes on and saves you as the waiter, and they say something like, are you guys ready to leave yet? I have to go home and feed my pet spiders. Or like, like somebody says something from the sides that like completely gives you a new direction. And you're like, thank God we can go in a different direction now because the scene was doing nothing.
That's never happened to me in my life.
Yeah. The part that I didn't understand when you said you were in a bad scene, because I'm in it, it's usually really good. So
it's usually the best part of the show.
But that is so fun.
Yeah,
I mean, it gives
those details.
It gives a glimpse into his life, and we never revisit it. That's something a new season of The Simpsons would do. He'd spend a whole episode looking at that guy's keyboard career.
Yes, and it would be pathetic and sad. he'd have to move in with the Simpsons. 100%. So they do get a pool. They put the pool together. They have a big barn raising scene.
Great joke.
It's a fine barn, but sure ain't no pool, English.
Go it. So this is a reference to the movie Witness, the 1985 crime thriller starring Harrison Ford and Kelly McGillis. It is Harrison Ford's only Oscar nomination. He did not win. You guys,
no idea.
Witness fans at all?
I've never even heard of that. I thought this was just a joke about building an Amish barn, or that Amish people build barns, apparently.
I was curious what this joke plays like if you don't get the reference. The only reason I got the reference is because I'd recently seen Witness.
Right.
So it seems like a pretty random joke then, doesn't it?
What is
I think it stands on its own.
Yeah, me too. We would laugh at this joke so much growing up. Yeah.
Because the Amish do build barns.
Yeah, they do. And they build a barn. There is a big, long, drawn-out barn raising scene in the movie Witness.
Wow.
Fun.
That's so funny.
Is Witness that movie about there's like a murder in Amish country? Or am I just intuiting? I might just be saying this because I'm intuiting it based on the Simpsons joke. But it's not that movie about Amish people, is it?
Wait a minute. It's not that movie full of Amish, is it? Yeah, so Harrison Ford plays a cop who has to protect a small Amish boy who witnessed a murder. And so he has to go undercover as an Amish guy and live in Amish country for the rest of the movie. It's actually very what do I want to say? Very slow and thoughtful, and it's a good movie. It's so crazy to me.
Because it sounds like Kindergarten Cop, but Amish.
Yes, it sounds like it would be a big, over-the-top, broad comedy where he's like, doing
Who is
Amish
your
stuff.
daddy, and what does he do with?
Do with.
Weird Al wrote
It's
Amish Paradise for the soundtrack, right?
Yes, that's right, and he won an Emmy for that. For best song on.
They gave him
the
the best song Emmy for him writing a song for the movie.
Sometimes the categories cancel each other out, and the only thing they're left with is an Emmy. So they get a pool. What do we think of all the pool stuff? They get instantly popular. The house fills with kids. Lisa becomes Miss Popularity.
Mm-hmm.
What do we think about all the pool stuff?
Love the pool stuff. It is so wonderful. I could watch more of that. I just love that sort of like the everyday of them being popular, because they're usually both outcasts at school.
Mm-hmm.
So it is really fun.
The visceral sense memory of a bunch of wet kids running around a normal like kitchen is so it's so visceral and like unlocks some sort of childhood memory.
And the eating of sandwiches, like big piles or big plates of easy to eat PB&Js or turkey and hams or something like that with like a little bit of mustard.
That are just going to get completely soaked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And there'll be bits in the pool.
Yes,
and just soggy bits on the ground.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And you think, I don't have to clean this up. I don't live here. It's a great feeling. Living, like going to a hotel. Leaving it for someone else.
All of that's great. Them wanting to do things for Lisa. That's great.
Oh, man.
Isn't it crazy?
So
the
funny.
Same day we realized we liked you is the same day you got a pool.
Isn't the coincidence funny? The timing or something like that?
Yeah.
I found you this money at the bottom of the pool.
Someone took my juice money. I had a question about this joke because I'm sure I'm overthinking it. Bart gets up on the treehouse to explain the pool rules. They immediately entice him to jump, so he jumps and misses the pool and breaks his leg. Nelson says, ha ha, and then Milhouse says, I think he's really hurt. He broke his leg. And then Nelson says, I said ha ha, which is a classic line.
Mm-hmm.
What is Nelson actually saying? What does that mean? Is he saying, I know he's hurt, and that's why I'm laughing?
Yeah.
Yeah, he already said ha ha. That's why, because he usually does the ha ha when someone falls down or something happens to them.
Yeah, he's like, what do you want me to do? I already made fun of him.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also he falls off
because
of Nelson's joke. Art, your epidermis is showing. And Bart goes, "What?"
And
See,
then
rubbing
as
Thomas
he's
is
falling
your skin.
for 45 to 50 seconds from the top of the treehouse to the bottom. Yeah.
That's a good point. Long enough for Nelson to point out to one of his fellow chums, epidermis means, what does he say? Epidermis
hair.
means hair.
Oh, hair.
So technically it is showing, which makes it funny or something like that.
Yeah. But really,
So-
it's your skin.
Yeah.
This is just
that
explaining
that's
every
another
joke.
layer.
Yeah.
I know, that's just us. So he goes to the hospital. He's put into a cast. Now, I want to ask you guys. Well, I didn't know this. I found this out online. The music that they play when he's in the hospital, they play this music a couple of different times that they show the hospital or the ER on The Simpsons. It is from the TV show medical drama Ben Casey, which was an old 50s or 60s TV show. So it just sounds like hospital music. It just sounds like dun 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 dun, something like that. I think I
Love
nailed
that,
it.
though.
It's from an old TV show, and then the vet, they have a handsome vet character who operates on
Santa's
Little Helper at one point. He's based on Ben Casey, I guess.
Oh,
So,
really?
just kind of like Witness. Like, I just never thought that was a reference to anything. I just
Yeah.
thought that's the music you play when you go to the hospital.
I mean,
have
that's
you
what The Simpsons does so well, right? Is give homage without needing any prior knowledge of what it's giving homage to.
Totally.
It's just
Isn't
so
that
well
crazy?
done.
That's so difficult to do.
I know.
To sink to slip in a joke there that if you get it, great. If you don't, it doesn't completely bring the show to a screeching halt in terms of your level of enjoyment. I
They're
just am
just so good at
constantly
that.
blown away by that.
Yeah. And early, this era of Simpsons was just, I think we really, don't give it enough credit for how layered it was.
Totally.
It's just so good. I think it's some of the best comedy writing to ever been done. They're the best to ever do it at
Totally.
this stage.
Because every joke has 3 other jokes attached to it on 3 different
Yeah.
levels. Like,
Yes,
it's like you said, you can watch. That's why we're still watching it, in our mid to late 30s, where we've been watching our entire lives. Because every time you see it, there is something new. Even if you think that you know every single joke, there's something new that will make you laugh harder or whatever.
Yeah, and I think
Yeah.
that's where sort of later Simpsons, more contemporary Simpsons, doesn't have that staying power because it does use more pop culture-y references blatantly and obviously. Whereas
And it's
these
of
ones,
that-
everything
It's of
everything's
that
still
mode
in
of like
service
if you
of the
totally
Sorry, you
if
go.
you don't get it, then it's like, oh, sorry, you don't get. You've never seen Star Wars Episode 3, so you're not going to
Yeah.
get this episode.
yeah, this won't make
everything
sense.
is always in service to either another joke or the story. It's not. We don't get too distracted by these, references all the time that are happening all the time anyway.
Yeah.
They're just kind of someone on the staff just has an encyclopedic knowledge of movies and TV shows. They're like, oh, yep, that, and they're able to just bring that in.
And I also think it's I completely agree with you, Ben. And I also think it's about the size of the staff too. Like being able to do multiple passes with multiple genius level comedic minds working on it and cramming things in. Because it's like, I just don't, I agree with you, Ben. I don't know if there's anything that's this comedically dense that's ever been on TV. I would be hard pressed to think of another show, maybe something like 30 Rock.
Yeah.
That is like 30 Rock in terms of jokes per minute is like pretty high up there, I would say.
Yeah, I would
But
agree.
like references,
I still
like
don't
this,
think
I don't
30
know.
Rock has aged as well. It's still
Right.
aged well, but I don't
No.
think it's aged as well as The Simpsons has.
And I'm not going to try to shit on 30 Rock here, but there's zero emotion in that show. Where The Simpsons
Yes.
is all about how much this family loves and means to each other, and it's about the family unit. Where it's like 30 Rock's great and it's so funny and I love watching it, but the characters have very everything feels very surface level emotionally, which I think serves that
Yes.
show very, very well. But it's just a difference between the two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Simpsons has an
completely agree.
emotional core that, and it's also just the sheer volume of episodes.
Yes, yeah.
Insane.
It's crazy how consistent they were for so long, for so many times.
Yeah.
I think it's never been done after or before.
Yeah, totally.
It boggles the mind. It truly
Yeah.
does. And this show, I really thought that starting this podcast would start to take some of the shine off of The Simpsons, and I'd start to see like I there was a part of me, Eli, that felt like we would start to detect a pattern that I have seen in other shows like Futurama, where I'm like, oh, I can see what they're. This is very similar to the last 3 episodes for formula wise that we reviewed, and every episode is different. Like again, Simpsons is famous for its first act that then veers in a completely different direction, and it doesn't do it this time. But this episode is unique because it hits us with 3 fast jokes and then immediately jumps into the first act. You know what I mean? Like there isn't a set formula to the Simpsons episode, I think. So I don't know. I'm just rehashing exactly what you guys are saying. It's unique. It's weird how many different ways the show is unique from other shows, not only from the 90s, but even today.
Yeah,
it's
but
different.
I think you're right. This episode is slightly different because sometimes they'll have that first act that'll have nothing to do, which will then lead into the main bulk of it. But everything here, even the Rear Window third act, flows. This happens because this, and then it's like it just flows so well.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like you're trying to get to the Rear Window stuff. It just feels very natural.
Yeah.
With
That's
other episodes,
a great way to put it.
Later episodes, it feels like okay, they're going to go to Japan, so how do they get there? I guess they go on a game show and whatever, blah blah blah, or whatever it is.
Yeah, that's a really good point. It does not feel forced at all, and I feel like Eli, we just did another episode recently that the 3 Men in a Comic Book. The third act is a John Huston movie. It's Treasures of the Sierra Madre, and it's that same thing where it's just like a switch is flipped and suddenly we're deep into this genre in the middle of the third act or at the start of the third act, and it doesn't feel like pop culture. What do I want to say? It doesn't feel like comedic whiplash.
I was watching Waiting for Guffman the other night, and it's got the last bit, where he's in New York and he's got that shop filled with knickknacks. It's very that episode of The Simpsons.
It is. That's a great call. Man, I love that movie.
It's so good. You are bastard people.
So he gets to the hospital. They determine that he broke his leg. Homer has a great line. Bart says, I'm going to miss the whole summer. Homer says, don't worry, boy. When you get a job like me, you'll miss every summer. This is totally in line with Homer's brand of parenting. It immediately makes me think of, there's one point where Bart's afraid of dying, and Homer says something like, well, any of us could die at any moment. You could wake up tomorrow dead. Something like that. You could wake up dead tomorrow. And he also says, Bart, in 3 Men in a Comic Book, Bart says something like, working is for chumps. And Homer says, I was twice your age before I figured that out. Good for you. Like, Homer's brand of parenting is so cynical.
Yeah.
And so unhelpful.
Oh, I love
it's like the last thing you want to hear.
One of my favorite Homer parenting is when I used to be what was cool, but then it was changed, and now what it is now is strange and unusual, or something like that. I'm butchering it. It's incredibly true.
Very true.
It is.
I used to be with it.
I'm very excited for that episode because it's my life. Like that episode of being left behind pop culturally is so fascinating as you get into your 40s.
And I realize now that I should have done the Australian episode as well.
I was going to compliment you on refraining from doing the Australian episode.
Yeah, I thought that might have been too on the nose.
Yeah,
but that is a beloved episode here.
That's great because
so love that episode. Yeah,
it's such a good episode.
It's such a good episode. That is a hugely culturally. I mean, now it's a meme. It's a very popular meme here. When someone is complaining on the internet, someone will post a picture of the Prime Minister in the tube going, have a stilt cunt. Because we say the C word a lot here.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Hey, Prime Minister.
Great.
Great.
That's so funny. That's such a good episode. That's going to be so much fun to do.
Yeah, it's a good one. It is. Yeah, it's a beloved episode. You'd think that
I'm so happy to hear
the toilet.
Yeah.
My country, 'tis of thee.
Give him the boot.
The big boot. The big boot.
So you played
they would
Knifey
have called them
Spoony
chance
before?
horses.
Yeah, a knifey spoony.
Knifey
Yeah.
Spoony is good. Knifey Spoony before.
Oh man, that's gonna be well. We got to do that episode then.
We should find a way to
let's
make
stop.
money off
Let's
of this.
do a breakdown and
Yeah, we should find a way to make money off of this and then go to Australia to do that episode.
We should.
To do it live.
oh man,
We'll do it live.
do it.
Yeah.
Do a live one. Oh, that'd be the dream. That'd be incredible.
Come on down.
We'll do it on Christmas.
Yeah.
So I can experience a hot Christmas.
Okay, well then no one will be there.
They'll all be at the pool because it's Christmas.
Have you guys ever broken any bones?
Yes.
Gone through casts? I have
Yep.
not.
I even did it in a very similar way to Bart in this. My parents were away and a bunch of naughty boys got stuck into some booze and we got drunk and we were partying in the backyard and we had a retaining wall and there was an awning out with a shade cloth and I was like, I'm going to jump off this retaining wall and swing off the awning. And then I woke up on the ground
Oh my god.
and my wrist was broken and the naughty boys were like, it's just sprained, don't worry about it. And so I wrapped in a tea towel and went to bed and then woke
oh my
up
god.
in the middle of the night and had to go to the hospital.
Oh my god. Was it so
Jesus
painful?
Yeah.
Christ.
Yeah, it was so fucking painful.
Oh my god. That sounds
I can't even
awful.
imagine.
How old were you?
Yeah. I was 16.
Oh man.
Oh man.
That's crazy. That's
So-
that's beyond the age where you get some cachet for having a broken arm or something.
Yeah, no one
No one
cared.
cares. No sympathy.
That's so funny.
No.
I mean, that does remind me not
What
to go
about
back
you?
to the whole. I've never broken a bone. No. I've been very injured in my day. But it's all been like flesh wounds and lacerations and banging my head against stuff and yeah.
Classic.
Yeah, I have so many scars on my face that luckily aren't super visible unless you're super close up. But
Yeah, I was a big tree climber as a kid.
Yeah.
And I fell out of a lot of trees, but I never broke anything in that point.
yeah, same. We had a kid. We had a family friend named Anthony, who we had these like forts that we would like. My dad had a lumber yard. My dad was in the lumber business, so we just had a bunch of like construction material at our house all the time. So we just like drag giant planks of like staircase and like big metal things against like trees and then climb up into the trees and be like, this is a fort now. And we had the idea to make a zip line. So we tied a piece of rope from the top of this huge oak tree to like the ground, and we're like, all right, so what could use? We had this old army backpack. I don't know where we had it from, and we're like, well, we're all too scared, but Anthony won't be scared. So, and he was over at the time, so we put him in the backpack, put the backpack on the rope. He jumped out of the tree. The straps immediately broke. They just snapped clean off, and he fell probably 15 feet onto like this metal grate that was like a fence post or something. He fell back on it and he started crying immediately. It was awful, but he was okay. He survived. And that was
God.
why we chose Anthony, was because we knew that if he got hurt, he would be the most okay of all of us. And it was true.
He was the most durable of all the kids.
Yeah.
That for some
Wow.
reason that has triggered another childhood memory of mine when I had 3 neighborhood friends, and we would just hang out. We had parks near each of our houses, and I was hanging out near Scott Patterson's house. He was a Scottish boy,
Scott.
Oh boy.
and we were just standing there, a lot like King of the Hill, just standing there, just being scumbags.
Uh-huh.
And he was like, Ben, I dare you to moon the next car that comes past. And I was he knew that if you dare Ben Russell, then he will always do it. I've done horrible things on dares. And so I did. And the car screeched to a halt. And the parents knew us. They had a kid in school, and they came running, and I just bolted up a tree, and the father was trying to get to me, and I was like, "No, get the fuck off!" And I ran up, and then he lost me in the tree, and he was like, "Yeah, good one. I'm gonna get you."
Oh,
they're real
God.
clever there, Ben. I know who you are. And
Golly.
and I got away with it.
Good for
Oh,
you.
wow.
I know you are.
Yeah, real clever, mate. Yeah, I remember that.
Real clever.
Him being so angry that
God.
you showed him your butt.
Yeah, I know. I look back at it like, dude, you overreacted. Let it.
Yeah.
The kid just mooned you.
There's
That's
other things going on.
Yeah, yeah.
obviously.
obviously. If I see another, I'm going to go nuts.
Yeah. 4 other people happened to moon him that day.
Yeah, I swear
He's
to
just having a
God.
bad day.
I swear to God, Marjorie, if I have to see another child's ass.
Screech! Oh man, that's so funny. That's so great. And you hid in a tree.
In the tree.
That's very funny.
That's
very funny.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Oh man. So Bart is out for the rest of the summer. He has to wear his cast. He can no longer be in the pool. He says, "Oh great, I get to spend all summer with my brain." So we get a couple of different brain jokes this episode. Lisa also interacts with her brain. Now,
Millpool.
we get
Millpool.
Millpool, which is incredible. So funny and so simple. I wonder how big of a laugh that got in the room, because I feel like on paper that wouldn't
Be as funny as
make me laugh necessarily. But something about Millpool, just like he types in his name when he's playing Bone Storm as Thrill House.
I was thinking about this as well, because Millpool is now a popular tattoo, I think. People get Millpool tattooed on their leg. With that, but it's also the trailing off of the L. It's so funny.
There's something really funny about it, and it's so simple. It's kind of like the Milhouse's dad drawing Dignity, where it's like there's something inherently funny about the image. I don't know. I don't know. It's great. I laugh at just Millpool all the time.
Even just the word
so
Millpool
good.
is really funny, because it's like you can see him being distracted, and then you get the shot of the proof. Yes, in fact, he was very distracted. Oh my God.
And he wrote pool. He was thinking about the pool and he wrote pool. That's so funny. Oh man, this episode is so fucking funny. Bart says something like, Bart is stuck up in his room and he says something like, "Oh, who cares? What like how much fun could you have in a pool you can't have in a bathtub with a trash bag around your leg," or something like that. And then it cuts to the pool, and we see a very drawn-out, elaborate dance number, synchronized swimming dance number. The closed captioning, I don't know if you guys noticed this, it actually says Busby Berkeley style musical extravaganza, which I thought was really funny. So Busby Berkeley was a choreographer. Are either of you guys familiar with his work?
I know it. It's enough kind of in the zeitgeist, and it's been referenced so many times that you immediately know what it is without even having any history about it.
Totally.
He was a choreographer in movies in the 30s up to the 60s, and he was famous. His dance choreography was famous for the use of symmetry and visual cues. Like, what do I want to say? Not visual tricks, optical illusions. Let me send you guys. I want to send you something that I watched. I watched
popularized
4 or
and
5 of
referenced
his movies.
in like Blazing Saddles, and also Austin Powers, the king,
Yes.
the Mount Rushmore of comedy.
Yeah.
I mean, it
Austin
is
Powers.
objectively funny to me.
Yeah.
They do a very similar in that movie Hail Caesar. They do a very similar, like a Busby Berkeley water themed. Is this a specific reference, Harrison, to a specific Busby Berkeley film?
Great question.
Because
So I watched a handful. Go ahead. Sorry.
oh no, keep going.
I just sent you guys a clip. This is from one of his movies called the movie. The song is "Beautiful Girls" from the movie Dames. And if you just click around, I don't know where it starts, but I just wanted to send this to you guys so you get a sense. It's exactly what we're talking about. And I'm going to include this in the show notes so people can see too. Like if you go to 38 or 40, I mean, like it's just these beautiful tall showgirls dancing in unison, completely synchronized. Some of his films, you might remember him from such films as 40 Little Mothers, the singing Marine.
Forty
and
little
she
mothers.
had to say yes. 40 little mothers.
She had to say
had
yes.
to say yes. A little threatening.
It is.
I don't know if they'd get away with that today.
It's yeah, very of the
She had
time.
to say
Everything
yes.
just has a slight threatening nature about it. You've got to do it.
You must do it. And this is a love
Do
story.
it, or else
She
we'll
had
say you're
a
crazy.
wonderful romance.
Yeah.
The beautiful
We'll lock you
romance.
away.
She had no choice.
And it wins like 7 Oscars. They're like, that's a love story for the ages. She must. So I watched a handful of his movies. They're fucking fantastic. And so I have a couple of things to say about this. Eli, no, this isn't a specific reference. Anytime, let me just say this, like you guys are absolutely right. Anytime you see a specifically, I've seen it in when they are parodying dance numbers or old Hollywood. Like it's not just when they're doing a dance number, but like that 70s show, Scrubs, High School Musical, like anytime, or the beginning of Indiana Jones 2, The Dude's Dream, and Big Lebowski, whenever they're like consciously telling you this is a big production, it's usually based off of a Busby Berkeley. It's also referencing Esther Williams, who was known as the $1 Million Mermaid. She was a famous swimmer and actress, famous for her aqua ballet films. So she made a handful of movies as an actress that revolved around her being in the water and doing ballet in the water.
Yeah, I feel
watched a
like the
couple of
most
those.
popular references for like musical numbers or things like that is either a Busby Berkeley or a Bob Fosse
Yeah.
Yes.
sort of style.
I
dance
completely agree.
Yeah, it's like name another Hollywood choreographer besides it's like, but it's like those are, I'm like, I could name you Busby Berkeley, I could name you Bob Fosse, and then other than that, I can't
couldn't
think of
do
another
anything else.
choreographer. Yeah.
That's all I got. But I wanted to say, so I watched a handful of his movies, and I have a couple of points here. That one, this is one of the rare references or rare instances where a reference does not do a Simpsons reference does not do its source justice. By that, I mean the dance that we see the kids do with Homer in the middle of the pool is funny and kind of impressive. Like that's the whole point. But then you watch some of these clips of his real numbers, and you're like, this is fucking insane. Like this is from almost 100 years ago. And he's got, 45, 50 trained dancers all dancing in unison, surrounded by mirrors or like glow in the dark guitars or like all these weird props. I still kind of just like, to me, I'm just like, I watch this shit and I'm like, how did we ever figure out movies? Like this is insane that we did this.
Even in
this
that
is
clip
like
that
a
you
pinnacle.
just sent, the way that it cuts at the end with that amazing zoom out kind of kaleidoscope image of the girls dancing, and then it cuts to a printout of that on a matte black, and the guy bursts out of it. Like that's crazy.
They knew how to do that back then. I mean, I'm kind of ignorant about old school Hollywood, but I'm like, they knew that this would. How did they know that this would look so fucking cool? Like, how did they? How do you envision that? I guess that's where I'm at. I'm like, how did this start in somebody's brain? And then he was able to communicate it effectively to a team of a production staff of 100 people to make this a reality. It's so impressive. That I guess my point was, even animating it 60 plus years later, they couldn't create something that looked better than the original. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's not a slight. That's not a slight against The Simpsons. That's in testament to how impressive this is.
Yeah, I think that's well put, Harrison.
And then the second thing, thank you. And then the second thing was the difference between references on The Simpsons versus other things like Family Guy or 30 Rock, which is what we've already been talking about. Because not only is this a cool reference and a deep cut, I certainly didn't get it as a kid. Not only is it a deep cut, kind of random, and visually interesting, it serves the purpose. It's there for a reason to further Bart's storyline about becoming isolated and bored, right?
Yeah.
Like there's very few jokes on Family Guy. Family Guy will, Peter will be like, this is worse than the time I sang Super Freak by James Brown. And then he'll just sing that inside that entire song. And there's no other layer to that reference. It doesn't help the story. It's literally a cutaway, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here, I guess watching it this time, I was just thinking like, oh, it's actually furthering Bart's story.
Yeah.
It is making Bart's point. That's crazy that you can make a joke this funny and interesting and still not be a distraction from what's going
Yeah,
on.
the real purpose of it is to illustrate. Well, the real purpose of it is to look cool and be like, "Oh, look at that." But its narrative purpose is to tell us how isolated Bart is, or show us how he's feeling. Everyone else is having fun, and I'm stuck in here.
I'm starting to think that The Simpsons might be the greatest television show ever made. And I mean that without irony.
Yeah.
I mean, same, totally.
I was just thinking about in the episode Bart gets an F when he's like, he almost has a very similar experience where he's trying to study and he's like, oh, how much fun could you really have on a snow day?
Yeah.
And then they show us this giant snow day. That's based on a bunch of a bunch of different paintings and portraits of snow. And it's that same thing of like, it's almost like we're in his imagination of like, he's picturing best case scenario of what would be happening if he didn't break his foot. He'd be like, oh, I'd be having this much fun. But I just was curious about that, and I wanted to bring that up because I just think it's so cool the way it goes back to what we've already been saying. It's like, not only is the show reference heavy, but the show doesn't come to a stop to fit in a reference and then try to pick back up momentum.
Totally.
No. It just keeps on rocketing through. It's all for a purpose.
Exactly. So we get that. Let me see where we're at in the notes. He tries to watch TV. Again, here's a couple of references I never got before this time. He watches Itchy and Scratchy. He watches Planet of the Apes. So in this 30 seconds of Itchy and Scratchy, we get Planet of the Apes reference, a Edgar Allan Poe reference, the cask of, I never know how to say it, the cask of Amontillado, the cask of Amontillado, which is walling somebody up alive behind a wall. There's a short story about that. And then Star Trek, I guess there's an episode with big-headed aliens.
Yep.
I was going to defer to you, Eli.
Yeah.
If I'm not wrong, it's the Cage. I can't remember what their species is called, but it's the pilot that they made before. Man, if I'm wrong about this, I'm going to feel fucking stupid. I didn't research this, so sorry. But it's the pilot that they made before the actual. But Star Trek made a pilot with an actor whose name I can't remember, and Leonard Nimoy, but in a whole different crew on the Enterprise.
Oh, so no Shatner.
No Shatner, pre-Shatner.
No Shatner.
And so it's really great. It's actually a really good episode of TV. But the network thought that the show needed to be more action-packed and sexy and all this stuff. So they actually
wagon train in space.
Exactly, wagon train to the original title was wagon train to the stars. But
That's a fucking bad. That is a really bad title.
Yeah.
So they wanted more of that. So they recast. They had Gene Roddenberry make another pilot.
They also didn't like the fact that the second in command was a woman.
This is true. Played by Majel Barrett, who was Gene Roddenberry's wife. Ben, I didn't know that you were a Trekkie.
I'm a huge I like Star Trek and I like The Simpsons.
Okay, I guess we should have talked more when we lived in Chicago, honestly.
Yeah.
But so correct me if I'm wrong. That's the one where they have the big old heads, right? Is in the cage.
Yeah, and then they revisit it in a later episode with Kirk in the menagerie.
They have this frame device that's an oft parodied thing. It's parodied in Futurama and maybe even in an episode of The Simpsons, where they say that the original captain, they make it all like canon, where they say the original captain like fell in a volcano or something like that, was like badly burned, and is now
he saved a bunch of kids in a fire or something.
Yes, and he now lives in a box and and is played by a different actor who is horribly deformed and or has makeup on, and he can only say yes or no with electronic beeps. But it's because that original pilot was never aired. They then found a way to air it by saying like, oh, he got in a bad accident, and now there's a big court martial based on this episode, and so it's all flashbacks to Spock and the previous captain of the Enterprise. Anyway, so that's me screaming at you guys.
That pilot is absolutely wonderful.
It's great.
It is like, I'd say it's one of the strongest episodes of the entire series.
Totally, because it was it's like Star Trek has that kind of duality of like there's an episode that's absolutely brilliant and says something so profound about the human condition, and then there's other ones where it's like, hey, what if we all kissed each other?
It was so funny. I've been rewatching original series.
Oh, wow.
And it's so funny how I watched one where it's like, there's so many episodes where dudes will just be like, I'm gonna stay with this woman. I'm
No.
sorry, but I'm leaving behind this old dame's here, and she's a sight for sore eyes. Goodbye. I'm gonna go to this beautiful dame.
Yeah, it's a character that got introduced. This is like Kirk's like, this is my best friend for my whole life that you've never seen or heard of, and then at the end of the episode, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna stay with this beautiful woman, but that's a salt vampire. I don't care.
So are the aliens in this world, this race of alien, are they evil?
Neutral, I would say.
Yeah, I don't think they're evil.
No, they're just powerful. And it's one of the few times that you've got powerful beings that aren't just balls of gas in TOS. I loved balls of gas.
Yes.
It happens way too frequently on that show.
That's so funny.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a great episode, and I love the... And Itchy and Scratchy in of itself is sort of a pastiche of, like, old Warner Brothers cartoons and just Itchy and Scratchy... no, I mean, not... Pinky and... Like, no.
Tom and
Is that
Jerry.
the other one? Yeah, Tom and Jerry, and also it's got hints of the Nickelodeon one, the grotesque one.
Oh yeah, Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah, Ren
Good
and
call.
Stimpy. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of a pastiche of that and the hyper violence that kind of was involved in that. I love how violent and gratuitous it is.
It's so violent.
It's so good.
I mean, Ben, to your point, I was just thinking, I know I keep hitting this, but it's like, again, the comedic density that's going on here, where I just said, I was impressed that they fit 3 science fiction tropes within one 40-second clip of a cartoon. But that's all on top of the existing layer that they are already, like you said, a pastiche of Tom and Jerry. So it's like, it's Tom and Jerry doing Star Trek. That there's an extra, even another layer of reference there, which is so funny.
Yeah.
It's a great show. I'm starting to think The Simpsons is a good
That'd be
show.
really good.
I'm starting to think it could be good, guys. I think people should check it out. Honestly, I think if
take
you're
it from us.
listening to this podcast, do yourself a favor and check out The Simpsons.
Every episode, the recommendation is just watch The Simpsons. So then, unfortunately, that's the final episode of Itchy and Scratchy and New Krusty for the summer. I wanted to ask you guys.
Old Krusty.
Classic Krusty. Ugh. He's so upset that they have to show old Krusty's while he's out of town.
We're here with the AEC.
He's got the AFL-CIO president, George Meany. Let me be blunt. Is there a labor crisis in America today? And then he says, well, Krusty, that depends on what you mean by crisis.
I love that voice as well. It depends what you mean by crisis. Just the most boring.
Yes.
The most boring person to have on your show. Eli, but like you said, a visceral image of being at the pool. I have visceral memories of turning on the TV during the summer and or on a sick day and being so fucking bored and not understanding why TV couldn't be entertaining 24/7.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's got to be a completely different thing now for a kid to like have complete control over what you get to watch. Like there is no more channel surfing. There is no more flipping around and settling on a game show, which is what we used to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can watch your favorite TV show. You could just sit at home and watch The Simpsons on your day off. You know what I mean? That's funny.
Typically, I mean, you guys we're similar ages. I am so thankful that we grew up in. We kind of were the last generation of kids that didn't have the internet, but we got both. We kind of got to experience, but we had this brief window where you didn't have internet.
Yeah.
But except for sick days, I wish that I had internet. Sick days would be so much better with internet.
Totally.
100%.
But even then, it was like, okay, I guess I'm gonna watch fucking Rosie today, and watched and enjoyed, you know. Or
you
like
watch daytime TV or soap operas or whatever.
I would end up watching a lot of
the
Matlock.
idea of not turning on the TV.
Totally.
Matlock.
Yeah. It was real bad.
Yeah,
and in Australia, we only had we had SBS, which was just either during the day it was all just international news. ABC, which was like deep dives into regional news or gardening shows during the day, and then Channel 7, Channel 9, and Channel 10, and it was five channels.
Wow.
And,
That's rough.
yeah, it was it was tough sometimes, guys. But luckily, we
Kids
had
these days.
I was a chronic VHS TV recorder.
Incredible.
I knew how to
Same.
program that fucking VCR, and I did. So there was always something to put on.
What else were you watching besides The Simpsons?
I mean, a lot of Star Trek, and just like old movies. We had a bunch of movies that we recorded from TV, so it was always something.
Yeah.
A lot of
That's
Star Trek,
same.
Star Wars. Yeah, no.
Yeah. Star Trek was definitely a
classics.
stay home sick. I remember pretending to be sick because there was a two-parter on, and I was sick one day. There was a two-parter. It was part one, and then I pretended to be sick for another day so I could finish the second episode.
That's awesome.
I was like, well, they go to a bar in this one, and Picard's not wearing his uniform, so
I gotta see
I
it.
got to see how that works. Do you have a favorite series, Ben? Star Trek wise? Sorry to go back to Star Trek, but
Deep Space Nine
well,
is my my jam.
Totally.
I love DS9.
Why is that?
Benjamin Sisko is my favorite
Incredible.
captain.
incredible.
Yeah, it's just the best. It's so
really
dense
is.
and
You see so much of what
What
TV
differentiates-
became.
yeah.
Harrison, just give us
It
a
was
second
really-
here. No, sorry.
Yeah, sorry, Simpsons fans.
No, but keep
I
going.
just have to.
I
Sorry,
want to
you
hear what that
nerd.
means.
But DS9 is it was ahead of its time in the
Yeah.
fact that we were getting kind of like serialized stories, especially from I would say season 4 onwards.
Once we get into the Dominion
And,
War, then the
Yeah. And it was just so, and it did something that Star Trek never did, which it was like disparate people. And Roddenberry was always against having interpersonal drama.
Yeah.
But this one totally broke that and was like, no, we have an ex-terrorist freedom fighter. We've got the Starfleet. We've got refugees all coming together on this stationary object in space.
yeah, and yeah, that was the main thing, the stationary object. It also, the fact that Starfleet didn't always do the right thing was, I think, people didn't always make the moral choice in Deep Space Nine, which I thought was brilliant in Deep Space Nine, but something that they really, I think, relied on a little too much in the new series, where it's like,
Yeah,
yes,
I think
yeah,
it was balanced. It was still optimistic, but it was like,
Yes.
no, humans and Starfleet make mistakes. People
Yeah.
make mistakes.
totally.
Whereas I think now some of the other I haven't watched a lot of new Trek, but I've watched some, and I am not going to be a new Star Trek hater. I enjoy
same.
some of it, but I
Totally.
think some of it is also quite cynical,
Yes, I
a
agree.
bit too cynical for Star Trek.
And when they
In
get
my-
into the optimistic, I feel like there has been a concerted effort to make it more optimistic, but it feels like that optimism's misplaced. Where it's not, they're like, I don't know, they're saying rather than doing. They're saying that they're going to be optimistic
Yes.
rather than being optimistic. You know?
Yes, I agree. And yeah, things take, it's got that, I think it suffers from what a lot of modern reboots and things have trouble with, where everything happens so quickly. Like it
Yeah.
takes zero time to travel anywhere.
Yeah.
Everything's just done. We can see everything. We've got sensors for everything.
Totally.
I think we just slow down. I want to see the travel time. I
Yeah.
want to see how that. I don't want you to know everything all at once, all the time.
Right. Yeah. Computer.
so
Yes.
it's
We don't need to be able to teleport anywhere in the galaxy at any time.
yeah. I
Yeah.
think J.J. Abrams really fucked that with
I agree.
Star Trek Into the Darkness. I think that's where
One of
it
the worst
really.
things ever. I really dislike.
It's-
That's the only
it's
one that I
awful.
like dislike. Like in
Me
the first
too.
one, I'm like, okay, that one's fun. It's not exactly Star Trek, but it's great. It's really fun.
It's fine.
Second one's
The third one is
awful. I
the
like the
third one
third
is
one.
actually. I love the third one because it's
Me
like
too.
a
It's-
big long episode of Star Trek.
Me too. People knock that and Insurrection. They're like, well, it's just an episode of Star Trek. It's like, I like I like that
I
show.
want
a lot,
that.
right? Yes.
I like that
Yeah.
more.
Yeah. More, please. Yeah.
But
Anyway.
yeah, 2 I think was 2 was J.J. Abrams first try ruining a franchise for people.
It was their dry run.
Yeah, it was his.
And
he perfected it.
he
later
really
on.
loved it. He got a taste for it, and he was like, "I want to ruin another popular sci-fi franchise."
Well, that was my whole thing with like when I heard that he was going to do the first Star Wars. I was like, that might actually be good because he already made a Star Wars movie in the first Star Trek movie.
Yeah,
That's a very funny. That's a funny thing to say.
Yeah, he absolutely did.
Anyway, what were you saying, Harrison? Something about
Something about Bart, I'm sure. I would absolutely listen to if you two should start a Star Trek podcast. I know you don't want to add more podcasts to the world, Ben, but you two should have your own
I
Star
do
Trek
love
podcast.
Star Trek. Maybe I should. Maybe we should, Eli.
Wait, Ben, were you ever on improvised
talk.
Star Trek in Chicago?
No.
I can't remember. Oh, all right.
I wish.
There was yeah. You should have been.
I wish because
Damn.
I could do a great Vulcan eyebrow naturally.
Yeah, perfect. You're doing it right now.
I'm doing it right
That's
now
amazing.
for the listeners.
Yeah.
I'm doing a Vulcan eyebrow naturally with no help.
That's tough. Yeah, with
anyway.
no fingers.
Wow.
Mine just
that
looks
is
like
great.
I'm farting.
Harrison's
You got
barfing
it.
again.
You nailed
I
it.
got it. I nailed it.
I'm barfing over here. Freaking barfing. Bart becomes more and more isolated. We get a great line read from Julie Kavner. She says, maybe we should spend more time with Bart. He's becoming isolated and weird. The way she says weird is so
weird.
funny.
Yeah.
Isolated and weird. I want to use this moment to call out the reference to the title. Bart of Darkness is a reference to Heart of Darkness, the Joseph Conrad 1899 novella about an ivory dealer who goes mad from isolation. Did you guys have to read Heart of Darkness in school?
No.
No.
I read it in 7th grade, and I just reread it this week. It's only 120 pages. I read it in like 2 days. It was a fast read. It is really weird. The first half is super boring, and I was really disappointed by it. The second half is great. Once you actually meet, this is the book that they based Apocalypse Now off of. You meet this ivory dealer who's out in the Congo jungle, and he's by himself or surrounded by indigenous tribes, but he's going crazy because he's been isolated for too long, and he's just like a madman. And the second half is really spooky and supernatural-ish. Like, it's just very creepy in the second half. I really enjoyed it. But it was really weird to think about. I read this in 7th grade, and it's like, who is deciding what books we should be reading as kids? Because I definitely didn't get all of it as a kid, but it's like, why introduce a book about isolation-based madness to a child? And then I went to like do dodgeball right after that. You know what I mean? Like, it seems weird.
I think the books that I can only remember is we did The Crucible, and we did The Handmaid's Tale, and then we did a bunch of Seamus Heaney poetry, which is an Irish poet about so a lot about famine and how bad the English are.
Well, that's always a good
Very
lesson to
depressing.
learn.
Yeah, it is true.
Yeah,
it's
I
true.
mean, it is objectively true.
But I do love
Eli,
I do love jungle-based madness genre.
the jungle makes you crazy.
They had a recent screening at a beautiful indie theater near me called Cinema Nova of The Burden of Dreams, which is the making
Never
of
heard of it.
Fitzcarraldo by Werner Herzog.
Yes.
And he just kind of it's about people making a big movie and they go crazy in the jungle. And it's wonderful.
I gotta watch that.
One of the best making ofs / just pure cinema. It's
I'm gonna watch
beautiful.
that tonight.
Yeah.
It comes from, if you ever heard that the quote of him going, "You hear the birds? They do not sing; they cry out. The nature of the universe is fornication, death, and murder."
That's you got a great Herzog right
Yeah,
there.
that is great.
I can't be the first to tell you that's a great Herzog.
I love Werner Herzog.
He's a genius. He truly is a genius.
A mad genius, insane. I read his
Yes.
book recently.
Ooh, is it
just,
good?
Yeah, it's great. It's just kind of goes through his childhood and growing up, and he is a strange man, but I love the way that he thinks of the world.
I gotta read that. I'm gonna watch that documentary tonight.
Yeah, I would strongly recommend.
But I did think again, hitting this thing about references, it isn't just a pun on Bart and Heart of Darkness. He really, after rereading the book, I'm like, oh yeah, there are definitely themes here of isolation-based madness, or like starting to go cuckoo because you're by yourself for too long. Like he definitely descends into isolation, and I never picked that up before.
I don't know the reference, and maybe you can help me, but there is one of my favorite scenes is when he goes, you can either go over to Flanders' house or you can read my play that I've written. Hey, Aunt Helga. I don't butcher it, but it's so good.
I'm going.
He says it's St. Swithin's Day.
Yes, Swithin's Day. Is it St.
Swithin's
Day already?
Swithin's Day. Tis, cried Aunt Helga.
Cries it.
So there's two jokes that there's two jokes here that I don't understand and I couldn't find reference for, and I wanted to get your opinions on. One is this play, which I feel like is just Bart being weird. I don't know if it's based on a real play or a real British thing. St. Swithin's Day is a real holiday. It's their version of Groundhog's Day, where if it rains on Swithin's Day, you're going to get 40 days of rain. So you got to watch out. And then Lisa is in the pool and she's being adored by everybody. And we have a little British boy who says, Lisa, please join my family for a weekend in the country. They'll be hunting, charades, and ever so many romantic misunderstandings. I kind of get the sense that this is like a Hugh Grant character.
He did look
like,
a little Hugh Grant-y.
What is he referencing?
He did.
I in my mind,
I don't know what he's referencing.
It's a specific thing, but it feels just like a British farce. Like it feels like an episode of Frasier, or like something that Frasier is referencing, But it feels like the setup to a British farce. I don't know a specific one. Tell us in the comments if there are comments.
I would love
to. If there are comments
that.
where you're watching, it's so funny.
It's really good. Please,
I don't know.
With me for a weekend in the country.
Something.
Ever so many romantic misunderstandings.
Very specific, but again, I don't think it's like you said exactly. I had the same thought, Eli. I don't think it's a reference to Frasier, but I think it's referencing the same type of farcical material a Frasier episode would be based on. So then we get into the third act and we start to see Rear Window. Rear Window was a 1954 movie starring Jimmy Stewart and Grace Kelly. We even get a Jimmy Stewart stand-in in the episode. And
there's a sinister kid
staring at me. We get in behind this Jimmy Stewart character. There are real photos hanging on the wall. These are the same frame photos that are in Rear Window because he's a photographer in the movie. I love little details like that. I think that's so funny that they had to go back. And back then, you had to go back and rewind the movie and pause it or whatever, so you could have your animators draw up those photos. I think that's so funny.
Crazy.
And it Rear Window is a masterpiece.
Let's talk about that.
So
Hitchcock's. Like it's got to be. I mean, maybe Birds is funny, but this is just and South by Southwest is also pretty funny and good. But it's like this is just so good. It's such an amazing film. It's one of my favorites of his, and the set, I think, cannot be understated.
Yeah.
It is an entire backyard in Hell's Kitchen or something like that, and they built the whole thing, and it plays out like a play.
Yes,
it's just sensational.
It really is so good. I had never seen it up until I was just telling Harrison before we started, but I watched it about a year and a half ago or so, and I'd never seen it. But my friend was like, I was about to leave this apartment that I lived in for like 6 years, and he's like, we have to watch it in this apartment because it reminds me so much of the Rear Window set, because it was exactly that. I could see out the back, and there was a whole courtyard. I could see into other people's apartments. Like, it was beautiful. But the movie I wasn't prepared for how good it was. It was so great, and I think you're right. It's my favorite Hitchcock movie for sure.
And a lot of those movies around that era, they can be a little boring.
Yeah.
Yes.
But this one is not boring. This keeps going and keeps your attention pretty well, and it is tight, and it is not overly long, and it's got Grace Kelly in it, who is one of the most beautiful women on earth.
Insane.
And so it's like, and he does an amazing job, Jimmy Stewart. It's just so good, and it's so tense. It builds that tension in that wonderful way that Hitchcock can, that, you know, so many directors now ape the style.
Yeah.
He's just so influential, especially in that tension build and ratcheting up.
Yes.
It's a masterpiece.
And I think it really redefined, if not created, the Witness style, not Witness Harrison Ford, but like the literal Witness type movie, right? It's like, I love a person sees a murder and nobody believes them. Disturbia, The Woman on the Train, The Woman in the Window, I think is the other one. There's, what's
Chowder.
that other? There's one, yeah. What Lies Beneath is a really good one with Michelle Pfeiffer. But I love that genre of movie. I think that's really fun. I actually found one that I didn't see referenced anywhere as a source of inspiration for this movie, but I found a movie called The Window from 1949. It's a thriller, a black and white thriller about a young boy who sees his neighbor kill somebody, but nobody believes him. What I think is interesting is specifically he's a teller of tall tales. It's kind of a boy who cries wolf story, and his family just straight up doesn't believe him because he's constantly making up stories and tales. So he has to go and find a way to like try and prove that the neighbor was a murderer. It came out 5 years before Rear Window. So I don't know. I have no clue if it actually influenced this episode or not, but it did. It is funny. It's about a lying boy.
I mean,
and they actually make a joke.
Another influential film, The Burbs, with Tom Hanks.
Yes, which is also really good. Neighbors are weird and nobody believes me is a great genre of movie. Eli, I did think of you because in The Window, I watched it this week. The dad's parenting style is so funny to me. He sits the boy down after one of his lies and says, he's like, now, son, he goes, people know me around town. And he goes, they know that I'm Billy Thompson's dad or whatever the kid's name is. He's like, do you want me to have to walk around town? And people say, there goes Billy Thompson's dad. Billy's a big liar. His dad must be a liar too. He goes, think about how embarrassing that'd be for me. You want them to be proud of me, don't you? And the kid is like, yeah, I guess.
That's so funny.
Eli, you play a lot of fathers in your solo work.
Oh, yeah.
I think you would play a dad who's only telling his kid to be good so it doesn't affect his reputation.
That is really
a very funny
totally.
parenting style.
That is good.
Absolutely. When you get bad grades, it makes me look like a fucking idiot.
You don't want your daddy to look like a fucking moron, do you?
Just cheat. Do whatever it takes to get good grades. Think about me. Think about how you're impacting me and my social standing. He thinks that Flanders has killed Maud and sent Maud to be with God, which is really funny. So he gets Lisa to sneak into Flanders' house. There's actually a bit, I don't know if you guys noticed this. Lisa's sitting on the bed before she gets sent up to Flanders' house. She's sitting on the bed, I guess, in this very similar way Grace Kelly was sitting on the bed in Rear Window. Again, like the attention to detail is like so, like it's crazy. The level of detail that they go to for just a few seconds of footage is so funny to me. She goes in and is almost attacked and killed, they think, by Flanders. What do we think about this resolution? We find out that Flanders is not a killer. He accidentally overwatered a ficus and buried it in the yard. And Maud was in the country at Bible camp or something, right?
She's with God.
Yeah.
My favorite, just a quick sidebar. One of my all-time favorite characters is Rod and Todd.
Yeah.
I love Rod and
They're
Todd.
so good.
They're so funny.
Yay!
They are.
Yay! I'm saying yay. They've been told their mothers are, yeah, can we go too? Oh my god.
So fun.
Someday.
This line, for some reason on this viewing, her saying like I was at Bible camp, I was learning to be more judgmental. It really made, I laughed for a full minute after. It was so
Yeah, that
funny.
was good.
Really,
That's a nice drive-by.
totally. I was learning to be more judgmental.
That's so funny.
We've talked about it before, but whenever they make fun of religion, they're oftentimes pretty pro-religion in this show. But anytime they make fun of religion, it's always for like the hypocrisy of devout Christians. It's so funny that line.
Such a funny idea of learning to be more judgmental.
More judgmental.
You know, just like Jesus would have wanted.
Yeah, exactly. Following the good book. Also, real quick, another quick reference. I don't know how many. I'd be curious how many younger people get this reference now. Bart, while trying to save Lisa, calls rescue phone, and it's a automated 911 emergency system, where you have to dial in the crime that you think is being committed. This is obviously a reference to Movie Phone or 777 film, which was created in 1989 by film critic and the movie man, quote unquote, Jason Leatherman. Do we know Movie Phone? Did you guys use Movie Phone at all? Or did you go straight to the internet?
We didn't have Movie Phone.
Getting showtimes.
But we did have like, I still knew the reference. We still had automated phone lines and things like that. So,
yeah.
Yeah. We didn't have Movie Phone, though.
We must have at some point. I mean, I remember looking up what time movies were in the newspaper.
Yes, which makes it sound so old.
Yes, like I don't even know where we got a newspaper from because we didn't have. But
back
we
before,
must have called
back before
yeah,
reserved seating.
Yes, totally.
Yes, you have to do that over the phone to make sure you got a good seat.
But
we didn't even have in Australia. We didn't have reserved seating. It was first come first served basis.
Well, yeah, same here in the early. But yeah, we had to get there as early as you could to get a good seat.
Or just back when cinema was alive.
Yeah,
it meant something. It was an event.
Yeah.
So Flanders is off the hook. There's no dead body. Maude is back. We get that great Homer joke about like everything's wrapped up in a nice little package. Little package. Sorry if that sounded sarcastic.
I just remembered, just with this end, because the Chief Wiggum is in this end, we did miss over a nice little Chief Wiggum in the helicopter. Continue swimming naked. Come on, continue. All right, open fire.
Using up government, using city helicopter to spy on people like
popcorn in his mouth.
So funny. So then it ends with the other half of the story is that Lisa was popular, and then they find out that Martin is getting a pool, and even Wussier Kid is getting an even better pool. So they all flee to Martin's. They fill Martin's pool on we assume it's its first outing. Martin says something that I never noticed before. He says, more friends, more allies, more, I say, hang those who talk of less. There's a few inches over there. Ho! And then the pool literally bursts because it was so overfilled. He is pantsed again and left to stand there in his empty pool, sings the Summer Breeze by Frank Sinatra as the credits roll. A great ending. What do we think of this ending for poor Martin?
I mean, it's so good because you have that little slight divergence with the murder mystery, and then it takes it on back to the pool where it all started and has this beautiful end of summer vibe. We've gone through the entire summer, and it's just kind of like such a wonderful loop
That's
around.
Such a great point.
Yeah,
we went through the summer.
It feels like August.
Yeah.
It feels like the end of a chapter or something. That's it. No more pools for anybody. I did notice this. I was curious. Hang those who talk of less is what Martin says. So I Googled that. There's a similar quote from Shakespeare, from Macbeth. He says, Macbeth at one point says, "Send out more horses, scour the country round, hang those who talk of fear, give me mine armor." So this is, if that is a reference to Macbeth, it is the second Shakespeare quote from Martin specifically in 2 episodes. When we did 3 Men in a Comic Book, he said the comic book are the things dreams are made of, which is another Shakespeare quote. So very funny specifically to give Martin Shakespeare quotes. It's such a dorky he's such a little fucking dork.
He's
so
funny.
Dork.
He's also
one of my
kind of an
favorite
Oscar Wilde kind of
yes.
character. I love Martin.
Me too. He's very he's got a panache to him.
Yeah.
He's a great character. He's in maybe 3 scenes total this episode, and he steals the show. He's so funny. Are there any jokes or moments that we skipped over that you guys really appreciated?
When Martin layers a bunch of bathers underneath, like, do your worst.
17 layers or whatever it is.
And then they do it, and then they get him. Homer, I can't remember. Homer's really eloquent at one point. He says something that's very... What was it? He says something very almost Shakespearean, but I can't remember what it was. But maybe that's a different episode. Can't remember what it is.
There is a brief period where the pool has algae in it, and Lisa, you got to put chlorine in it.
Yeah, chlorine, eh? Or cleaner, eh? Or whatever he says. That's really funny too. The great animation there on the blob, getting him covered in green gunk. Was it hard taking care of the pool maintenance?
Yeah,
it was a very exciting question.
It's the worst
in the
part
episode
of having a pool. And I would have to. That was part of our chores. Is to actually that was my brother's chore. He was the pool man.
Nice.
But it was my dad and my brother he had pool duty. I was the
Seems like it'd be
garbage
very
man
tedious.
in the family.
Oh,
which
wow.
I would have rather the pool.
Yeah, me too.
You all had little jobs.
It was annoying, and we had a creepy crawly, and I think that's the worst. That's the worst part of having a pool, and that's why I probably would say don't do it, because the pool maintenance it never ceases. Even in the wintertime when you don't want to go into it, you have to still look after it.
Damn.
And so in the
crazy.
wintertime, our pool would turn green.
Ugh,
Yeah.
that's so weird. Well, that's the episode. You don't recommend. We know what you're not going to recommend is getting a pool. What do you, Ben? What would you recommend after watching this episode? A book, a movie, something that you think fits thematically with it.
I mean, I would recommend Rear Window in a heartbeat, and I would also recommend Star Trek, the original series, for a nice, fun. It's stupid. It has not aged well in some parts, but it's aged. It's gone back around where it is enjoyable to watch.
Yes.
Like, any of those super old, TV series are.
Totally.
They crank them out. They're stupid, but they are very entertaining. And they're on streaming. And yeah, it's just it's a perfect second screen affair.
Yes, that's very true.
Fantastic.
You can scroll and watch.
Yeah, it's so good.
Well, fantastic. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Where can people find you online and find your work?
Hey, just follow me on the Instagram. I'm looking. What's mine? I'm Ben Russell on Instagram.
Easy.
Nice and easy, and I've got everything there. So I've got links to all the other business that you can catch me in. And I'm going to try and come over to the States this year, towards the end of the year.
Hell yeah.
Well, hit us up.
Yeah, where are you going to go?
Come out to New York and New Mexico. Come to the
Go to
new
all
states.
the new
Sure.
states.
I was going to go to Los Angeles, but I do kind of want to go to New York. I would love to see Chicago again.
Yeah.
I have such
Yes.
wonderful, that was a real coming of age time for me.
Totally.
And I would love to see
the
that. I
best
think
part about visiting Chicago now is you can be there and you don't have to go to your day job.
yeah.
And you just get to go
You
to
can just do stuff.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Ben. This was so much fun. Thanks for being on the show.
It is so much fun to talk about The Simpsons, and it's also so much fun to talk about Star Trek. So you've fixed. Those are my two favorite things to watch.
Yes.
And if those are my go-tos, if I don't know what to watch or I don't want to watch anything, I will watch either Star Trek or The Simpsons.
Same.
I just think that they're both so rich and wonderful, and there's never been anything like it since. And I think it's magic. I think it's TV magic.
I agree. Hard agree.
Yeah.
Completely agreed. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Oh, it's been so good. It's so nice to see you both, and thank you so much.
Thank you to Ben for being on the show. You can follow Ben on Instagram at I am Ben Russell. And you can follow this show at Bartanica Pod. Follow us on Instagram. If you enjoy the show, please give us a like or tell a friend. Eli, after talking about this episode, what do you recommend this week?
Well, Ben already kind of recommended Star Trek, which would have been, but he recommended Star Trek the original series, and I will recommend Star Trek the Next Generation. And then once you finish that, then go on to Deep Space Nine, because I do think he said it was his favorite, and I think that most modern audiences would also really love Deep Space Nine. But I've never had someone because I've been a Star Trek acolyte my whole life, and I've never had someone give it an honest shot and not like fall deeply in love with it. So there's that.
I got to watch it. I've never watched it.
And it shows.
And frankly, it shows.
You're a racist.
My secret.
You're anti-Klingon, that shows.
I'm going to recommend two things. One, a book I read about the history of swimming pools called Contested Waters, A Social History of Swimming Pools in America by Jeff Wiltse. It is so good. I told you earlier, only semi-jokingly, that it completely changed everything I thought I knew about swimming pools. It was really good. It was hard not to fill the whole episode just with the information that I learned. So I recommend this book, and I recommend just going swimming. I went to my public pool this week in honor of this book and this episode. And I had a fucking blast, Eli. I have this nice, big, beautiful 6-lane pool. I went on my lunch break on a Friday. I was the only person there. It was me and one teen kid as a lifeguard, because they have to have a lifeguard on duty. So it just stared at me the whole time while I did laps. It was very funny.
That's awesome.
But I had a blast. It was great. Exercise-wise, you really can't beat swimming. It's like a full-body exercise. It was a blast.
That's awesome. I've never been much of a swimmer, and we find out why. Oh, wait. This is at the end of the episode. Sorry, we already...
now you know why.
Now you know why. But every time I do it, it was like, oh, yeah, humans just love the water. It's incredible.
Mm-hmm. There's something so basic about how enjoyable it is.
Totally.
Just splashing around. So that's what I recommend this episode. And of course, I recommend checking out Ben's YouTube page and his Instagram. He's so fucking funny. Thank you again for being on the show. We'll be back in 2 weeks with a brand new episode. Until then, as we always say on this show,
Martins ahoy!